Namaste and hello. This is your Sanskrit instructor welcoming you back into lesson number 92. In the previous lesson, we went over how to conjugate verbs in the middle voice, which is considered to be Atmanepadi in Sanskrit. A very important thing that we brought light to was the fact that because our termination endings for the middle voice, many of them start with a vowel, we have to be aware of the vowel sandhis, especially because for all of the different types of conjugations that we have done so far, we're adding an at the end of the verbal root before you add your termination. So the vowel sandhi is very important before actually adding those termination endings and then conjugating the verb. So they're very important in conjugation. Now that we learned how to conjugate the verbs, now we have to consider how these words are going to apply to when we are using them in an actual sentence. So the conjugation part is done, but now we have to take a look as to how they affect a sentence. Especially because our endings, most of our conjugated words end in a vowel. And as you can see, the majority of them, by the time you're adding and you're adding your termination ending, you're ending up with the a vowel sign. So what we have to keep in mind here are the vowel sandhi rules that apply to the vowel sign a, especially if a word in the sentence that follows that conjugated verb in the middle voice, especially if that word in the sentence starts with a vowel, then we have to apply vowel sandhi. However, when we're talking about sentences with verbs in the middle voice, there are exceptions of the vowel sandhi, so we'll be going over that. So let's take a look at the rules here. So there are exceptions of vowel sandhi when applying the middle voice verbs to sentences, and the rules are as follows. So 1 and 2 are exactly like how we learned the vowel sandhi. This shouldn't be new to us. So the final a of a word followed by a remains unchanged while the is elided. We already went over this. So as you can see, labhadhwe asim becomes labhadhwe sim. The reason that being is because this a is followed by the This ends up being elided. Notice what number labhadhwe is in. Labhadhwe is second person plural, and this is coming in the plural category, okay? Now, for number 2, this is another vowel sandhi that we already went over earlier in the course. A final a of a word followed by any vowel except a after changing to I may optionally drop the ya. So, and when it being optionally dropped to the ya, that form, we're going to see it more often than the I. So we have ikshe. Here's the a here. This is conjugated in the middle voice. And ikshe is first person singular. We have that case ending here. The dwe was for the previous one. We have a for this one. So this is in the singular category. So we have ikshe indum could become ikshai once that a is removed. it turns into I because it is followed by an E, any vowel except A. So this is the vowel sign E. So then the A is dropped, and that A turns into an I. So you end up with ikshai. Once that A is dropped, once this is dropped, then it becomes a iksh with the halant plus I is going to give us ikshai. That's what we end up with. And then when you combine ikshai with indum, it becomes ikshayindum. But like I said before, the type of form that you're going to see more often is ikshayindum. So here you're not adding the I. You're just adding the instead of the A once that A is removed. So you end up with ikshayindum, and this form would by far be seen more frequently. So these two rules apply to rule number one and rule number two, the regular sandhi. That applies to the singular category and the plural category. However, take a look at number 3. The final A of a dual form followed by any vowel remains unchanged. So all of these, it doesn't matter if it's followed by an whether it's followed by any other vowel, it remains unchanged. So look, we have labha vahe. Labha vahe is first person dual, and it is followed by the word asim. So it just remains that way. Nothing, it just stays the way how it is. And we have ikshete indum. Ikshete, te is second person dual. Ikshete indum. Dental te. So that remains unchanged. So in other words, only the singular category and the plural category, that's the only time when you are applying the vowel sandhi in the sentences. The dual stays just the same, the way how it is. Doesn't matter what it's followed by. You just keep the A how it is. Hope this helps. This is your Sanskrit instructor signing off with a namaste.